Chosen one, there are moments in life when the loudest voice is not heard but felt, deep in your spirit. The 25th, 26th, and 27th of July are not just ordinary dates. These are sacred days. Days carved out by the divine to realign your soul, your steps, your destiny. A holy hush is sweeping across the lives of the chosen, and you are one of them. Heaven is calling for silence, not the silence of fear or retreat, but the silence of sacred preparation. You may have already sensed it. That strange stillness, that invisible weight, that soft pull inward. It is not a coincidence. It is a sign. The universe is rearranging things on your behalf, quietly, deliberately, divinely. Doors you thought were bolted shut are beginning to tremble. Pathways long forgotten are being remembered, and it's all happening in the quiet. Before we go deeper into this spiritual unfolding, I ask you to pause and anchor your energy. If your heart is resonating with this message, stay with it until the end. And if something inside you feels the truth of these words, take a moment, type your warmest wishes in the comments, and write 144 as a sign to the universe. That number is not just digits. It's an alignment code, a declaration, a sacred agreement between your soul and divine timing. Like this message, subscribe to the channel and join the silent uprising that is preparing for greatness. Chosen one, silence is not weakness. It is strategy, it is protection, it is spiritual obedience. When God commands stillness, it means something vast and unseen is taking place. Something that must not be disturbed by noise, opinions, or haste. The days ahead are a season of realignment, a reshaping of the energy that surrounds you so it can bring you into direct contact with your true purpose. There are things trying to find you, blessings, answers, clarity, but they cannot navigate through chaos. Your silence is the map that guides them home to you. So do not feel guilt for withdrawing. Do not apologize for needing space. This is your sacred time, a divine appointment to recalibrate and reconnect with your deepest self. During these 3 days, you may feel the urge to explain yourself, to speak, to react, but don't. That urge is only the residue of your old patterns trying to pull you out of divine flow. Resisting that impulse is how you protect your unfolding. This silence is not passive, it's active alignment. You are holding space so that heaven can move freely on your behalf. Invisible hands are already clearing paths, conversations are happening in rooms you haven't entered yet. Decisions are being made in your favor before your name is even spoken. And it's all because you're doing the one thing most people can't. You're staying still. You're holding your peace. You're listening. This quiet time will sharpen your spirit. You'll begin to feel things more deeply. The truth of certain relationships, the futility of certain patterns, the beauty of being in sync with divine timing. You'll begin to realize that things are resolving without your effort. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. That's divine orchestration at work. Silence isn't about absence, it's about presence. It's about tuning in to a frequency that only the chosen can hear. It's about allowing your intuition to lead instead of your ego. You may notice that certain voices around you begin to fade. You may lose the desire to talk about your plans, your visions, your next move. That is divine preservation. Heaven is placing a veil over your progress so it can blossom in protection. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to perform. The people meant to walk with you into your next chapter will understand your silence. And those who don't, let them misunderstand. This season is not about being seen, it's about being aligned. Chosen one, your spirit is already aware of the shift. You might be feeling a strange tension, like something big is coming, but you can't quite name it. That's your soul picking up the divine signal. It knows what your eyes can't yet see. That holy unease is a birth pain. The atmosphere around you is pregnant with breakthrough. During this time, trust what's unspoken. Trust the inner nudges, the dreams, the quiet revelations. You are not being left behind. You are being positioned. You are not being silenced. You are being sanctified. And when it's time to speak again, to act, to rise, your voice will carry weight because it will be filled with the power of divine timing. These 3 days are your invitation to step back and allow the divine to step in. They are not empty moments. They are full of sacred construction, bricks being laid for blessings you haven't imagined yet. Your job is not to rush it. Your job is to trust it. So breathe, center yourself, pull back from the noise, and know this: the quieter you become, the more you will hear. The more still you are, the more momentum builds in your favor. This silence is not an absence of movement. It is the preparation for a divine storm of miracles headed your way. Chosen one, the stillness you are being called into is not just a pause, it's a portal. The days of July 25th, 26th, and 27th are vibrating with rare spiritual frequency, designed not to test you, but to transform you. What's unfolding is sacred. You are not just waiting in silence, you are being spiritually reprogrammed, rewired, remade. The old patterns, the old cycles, the old fears are dissolving. And in their place, something divine is forming. Clarity, alignment, and divine preparation. You may notice during these days a deep inward pull, as if your soul is asking you to come closer. Listen. Do not rush to explain. Do not be quick to post, to react, or to share what hasn't fully blossomed yet. Some things are too sacred for early exposure. Some blessings require a womb of silence before they are revealed to the world. The divine is not hiding your progress, it's protecting it. This is why silence has been summoned, because what's coming is too powerful to be touched by noise, by doubt, by distraction. In these 3 days, chosen one, you will feel the weight of transition. You are moving through a spiritual gateway, a portal of release and rebirth. What you let go of during this period will determine the space you make for your future. Be intentional, be still, be trusting. Don't be surprised if you start seeing signs, repeating numbers, vivid dreams, strange alignments, déjà vu. These are divine confirmations. These are whispers from the unseen realm saying, yes, you are on the path. The more you silence the noise around you, the louder these signs will become. Your spirit is becoming more sensitive, more perceptive, more in tune with what heaven is preparing. These are not days to push, they are days to plant. Plant intentions, not with frantic words, but with quiet focus. When you think of your future, don't just hope vaguely. See it, feel it, taste it. Imagine the version of yourself who has already stepped into it, walking with confidence, peace, and clarity. This is how you shift your vibration. This is how the unseen starts to manifest into the seen. Chosen one, you are being entrusted with a new level of vision. That's why the noise must fall away. That's why certain relationships may feel distant right now. That's why old cycles are collapsing. They cannot survive in the frequency you're rising into. The silence you're keeping is clearing the clutter. It is pruning what no longer belongs. And that may feel lonely. But it is sacred loneliness, divine isolation, a cocoon before the emergence. And when you finally emerge, when you speak again, when you act again, the world will feel the shift. Because the silence didn't weaken you, it refined you. In this sacred window of days, resist the urge to validate yourself to others. You don't need to explain your process. You don't need to justify your stillness. The ones who are spiritually aware will feel what you're carrying. The rest aren't meant to understand, not yet. Let your silence protect your elevation. Let your quiet be your boundary. You are in spiritual incubation, and anything spoken too soon could distort the outcome. The silence is also making room for deep emotional release. You may find old wounds resurfacing, memories, regrets, suppressed emotions. Don't run, don't suppress. Let them pass through. This is the purge, this is the cleanse, this is God saying, you cannot carry this weight into your next chapter. Cry if you must. Reflect, forgive, release. This internal clearing is just as important as the external unfolding. As the silence deepens, your intuition sharpens. You'll begin to sense truths without evidence. You'll feel things shift before you see them. Trust this, your soul knows before your eyes do. It knows which paths are ending, which doors are about to open, and who no longer belongs in your sacred space. Don't argue with what your intuition reveals. Don't try to fix what God is trying to remove. These days are spiritually electric, And like lightning before a storm, revelation is near. You may have flashes of divine insight, a sudden knowing of what to do, where to go, or what to release. Write it down, meditate on it. These are not random thoughts, they are downloads. Spiritual guidance arriving in stillness. This is also a time for sacred detachment. Let go of the need to know how or when things will unfold. Let go of the pressure to make everything happen on your own. Divine timing is never late. What's for you will never miss you, and right now, the silence is forming the space for it to arrive without resistance. Your task is not to chase. Your task is to align. Chosen one, understand. This silence is not a pause in your life. It is the turning of a page. It is the final inhale before the exhale of transformation. What you're doing by remaining silent is magnetic. You are drawing the right opportunities to you, calling in clarity, commanding the attention of divine forces without saying a word. You don't need to shout. Your alignment is already speaking volumes. You don't need to convince anyone. Your energy will reveal the truth in due time. Stay rooted, stay centered, stay quiet. In this stillness, you are not shrinking, you are expanding inward. Your light is gathering strength. Your future is taking form. And when the 27th of July arrives and the spiritual portal begins to close, you will not be the same. Something will have shifted, something sacred will have settled into your soul. So honor the silence. Use it as a sanctuary. Speak your intentions to the heavens, not the crowd. Let your silence be your sword and your shelter. Because in this quiet season, you are not being forgotten. You are being fortified. Chosen one, this silence you are walking through is not punishment. It is permission. Permission to heal, to hear, to see what noise once hid from your spirit. The 25th, 26th, and 27th of July are not just days passing by on a calendar, they are sacred thresholds. Spiritual gateways where timelines collapse, illusions dissolve, and truth rises. This is not a pause, it's a purification. As these days unfold, you may feel an unseen tension in the air, a thickening of atmosphere, like the world is holding its breath. That's because something divine is moving in silence. Not in spectacle, not in drama, but in stillness. The universe is recalibrating the very frequency of your life, and silence is the holy space where this work is done. You may feel your emotions rising to the surface, old hurts, old stories, lingering grief. Let them come. Let them rise like vapor and dissolve. These are remnants of a life you're no longer living. Energy from versions of you that can't follow where you're going. God is gently lifting the weight, releasing the residue. And silence is your agreement to let it happen without interference. There is a quiet unraveling occurring. You may notice some things falling away. Friendships that once felt inseparable now feel distant. Goals that once consumed you now feel irrelevant. Desires that once defined you are losing their grip. This is not confusion, this is clarity finally having space to speak. Your silence is revealing the truth that noise kept hidden. And what's being revealed is this: you've outgrown the old chapter. Your soul is asking for more, not just more things, but more alignment, more peace, more truth. These next days are an invitation to release the old identity that was built on survival and step into the one designed for purpose. That transition requires stillness, because when you are still, you can feel the pull of destiny more clearly. Chosen one, this is also a time of observation. As you grow quieter, you'll begin to see more. You'll see who respects your boundaries and who doesn't. You'll notice who checks in when you're not performing. You'll feel who celebrates your growth even when it means growing apart. Let silence be your revealer, let it expose the true nature of every connection around you. And do not be afraid of solitude. These days are not about loneliness, they are about sacred separation, about being pulled back so you can see the bigger picture, about being hidden so you can heal in peace. The divine often hides what is sacred until the appointed time. And you, chosen one, are sacred. During these days, your intuition will speak more loudly than any voice around you. You may feel sudden clarity, moments where your path lights up before you even take a step. That's the divine confirming what you've known all along, that you are being guided. that every delay, every detour, every silence had a purpose. You are not lost, you are becoming. You'll also start noticing the universe responding to your silence. Opportunities may begin to approach you. You may receive unexpected messages, divine connections, inspired ideas. Don't rush to share them. Protect them. Let them incubate in your spirit until the time is right. Not every seed is meant to be exposed in its earliest stage. Let it take root. Let it grow in the dark. This is a season of spiritual conservation. Your energy is sacred right now. Don't waste it on explanations, on arguments, on convincing anyone of your path. Let your actions in divine timing speak for themselves. You are building something eternal, something that can't be shaken by opinions or distractions. And that construction needs quiet. In your silence, speak to the divine, not with noise, but with awareness. Feel your prayers instead of reciting them. Visualize your future instead of begging for it. Thank the universe not just for what's coming, but for what's already shifting. Gratitude is a magnet. Use it now, use it often. It tells the universe, I am ready. And you are ready. Ready to shed the old layer, ready to rise without announcing your every step, ready to be seen only by the eyes that are meant to witness your becoming. The silence is preparing you for that emergence. Not into noise, but into impact. These dates are also calling you to declutter your inner world. What beliefs are no longer serving you? What patterns are keeping you small? What habits are distracting you from your higher calling? You don't have to fix everything in 3 days, but you do have to be honest. This silence is not just about staying quiet on the outside, it's about rearranging the inside. Journal, meditate, breathe, fast, walk in nature. Reflect on who you've become and who you're becoming. These sacred actions create space. They open the channel for divine downloads, for renewed energy, for rebirth. And most of all, they remind you that you are not powerless. Silence is not passivity. It is power under divine restraint. It is choosing not to act out of reaction, but to move only when led by clarity. When the noise returns, and it will, you'll be different. You'll move differently, speak differently, choose differently. Because the silence will have changed you. It will have fortified you from the inside out. It will have restored what the chaos tried to strip away. Your trust in yourself, your trust in the process, your trust in divine timing. So honor these days, use them wisely. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. What's forming in the quiet is rare. What's coming after this silence is sacred. And when you step into the next season, the world will feel your shift, even if you never say a word. Chosen one. As the sacred days of July 25th, 26th, and 27th rise and pass through you like a divine wind, you are not the same. You have been in the womb of silence, and now you emerge new. Not loud, not rushed, but transformed. A quieter power pulses through your being, one not born of noise, but of knowing. These days were not ordinary. They were consecrated, and they've left their mark on your soul. This silence you've honored wasn't just stillness, it was strategy. It was healing. It was alignment. You were never being punished. You were being positioned, held in divine stillness so that heaven could rearrange the terrain of your destiny. While the world moved in chaos, you stood rooted in quiet trust. And that trust has shifted everything. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel it. In your bones, in your breath, the ground beneath your spirit has changed. What once made you anxious now feels small. What once felt impossible now feels inevitable. You have been recalibrated, reset, reborn in silence. During these sacred days, you might have felt emotions surface that you thought you buried long ago. Memories, wounds, fears. That was not regression. That was release. Those tears you cried in private were cleansing you. Those thoughts you wrestled with in the dark were shedding the old layer of you. You were not breaking down, you were breaking open. You may have withdrawn from others, disconnected, unplugged, not because you didn't care, but because the divine was calling you inward. You weren't being distant, you were becoming whole. You weren't hiding, you were being hidden for protection. The most sacred things are always shielded until the appointed time. And beloved, your time is coming. Even now, as the stillness begins to lift, something within you knows. You're not going back. You can't return to who you were before these days. That version of you has served its purpose. You are now carrying too much clarity, too much depth, too much inner peace to shrink again. The silence has expanded your soul, it has elevated your vision, and it has prepared you to receive. You are entering a season where your very presence will speak louder than words, where your actions will be soaked in divine timing, where you will no longer hustle for what flows naturally to your spirit. Because now, you know the power of moving with heaven instead of forcing outcomes. You know the wisdom of letting go, of surrendering, of protecting your energy like sacred gold. And the universe will respond to this new version of you. Opportunities will now begin to find you. Doors will open that require no knocking. Conversations will align effortlessly. People will wonder how it all happened so suddenly. But you'll know, it wasn't sudden, it was sacred. It was built in the silence. It was born in obedience. It was woven by unseen hands while you stood still in faith. Chosen one, your silence has created space for divine motion. The things that once eluded you are now magnetized to you. Not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them. Your energy now carries the frequency of peace, trust, and expectancy. And that kind of energy is irresistible to divine provision. But don't forget this. Even though the sacred days are concluding, the lesson of silence endures. You have tasted the power of stillness. Let it become a way of life. Let it guide how you speak, how you share, how you move. Not everything needs to be broadcast. Not every blessing needs to be posted. Some things are too holy for public display. Protect what is growing. Nurture what is unseen. Let your spirit lead, not your ego. And when it's time to act, you'll know. You'll feel it in your chest like a divine spark. And when you do act, your steps will be unstoppable because they will be rooted in divine clarity, not emotional reaction. That is what the silence trained you for: precision, timing, wisdom. So walk forward now, slowly, intentionally. Don't rush to explain what just happened. You don't need to convince anyone of your glow. The evidence will speak louder than your voice ever could. Let the results tell the story. Let the fruit prove the root. You are not the same. You are sharper, softer, wiser, quieter, brighter. Let those who doubted you wonder. Let those who distanced themselves remember your silence and be amazed when they see what it birthed. Chosen one, this was not the end. This was the opening of a new gate, and you are walking through it clothed in peace, crowned with light, and surrounded by favor. Your silence was not emptiness, it was power, and now the reward for your obedience is unfolding. Not with a shout, but with a whisper. That changes everything. Chosen one, now that the sacred days of silence have passed, you are standing in a new vibration, one that cannot be seen by the eyes, but is deeply felt in the spirit. You've crossed through the threshold of the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July, and while the world may appear the same, you are not. Something in you has awakened, a deeper awareness, a richer peace, a quiet fire. You no longer walk as you once did. You walk with wisdom, with clarity, with divine precision. This silence was never about absence. It was about realignment. The silence didn't weaken you, it refined your power. It stripped away the noise that blurred your vision, cleared away the dust that dulled your intuition, and strengthened the quiet voice inside that had always known the truth. That voice is no longer a whisper. It is your compass now. You are now in the space between what has ended and what is beginning. You may feel an eerie calm, as if something is building just beyond the veil. And you'd be right. That calm is not emptiness. It is a sign that heaven is setting the stage. You're not waiting, you're being positioned. Every delay, every pause, every redirection is a holy setup. And now you are closer than ever. Pay attention to the signs in this new season. Watch how people respond to your energy. Listen for confirmations in unexpected places, a sentence in a conversation, a song lyric, a passing thought. These are no longer coincidences. They are divine echoes responding to your alignment, and they're leading you to your next assignment. You may also find yourself pulled back again, not out of fear, but out of sacred caution. There's a part of you that knows not everyone can walk with you from this point forward. Your elevation has created new requirements. Your peace must be guarded, your vision must be protected, not because it is fragile, but because it is powerful. This is where you become more selective, not just with people, but with thoughts, habits, choices. The silence showed you what drains you and what fuels you. Keep that wisdom close. Let it shape how you move now. Simplicity, intentionality, peace. These are your new foundations. These are the tools that will carry your next breakthrough. And breakthrough is coming. It may not arrive how you expect. It may not knock with fanfare. But it will come, quietly, divinely, perfectly timed. Because you are now in sync with the rhythm of the divine. No longer rushing, no longer forcing. Just allowing. And that is the most powerful place you can be. So don't feel the need to rush into noise again. The world may be loud. Let it be. You have learned the value of silence, and that is your edge. When others speak, you will discern. When others scramble, you will sense. When others seek answers, you will already know. Because silence taught you how to hear what others miss. You are no longer the seeker, you have become the signal. Chosen one, keep walking in this frequency. Let your steps be led by peace, not pressure. Let your decisions be guided by intuition, not impulse. Let your voice be used only when it carries weight, not when it seeks validation. Your very presence now speaks louder than any words. And when the time comes, and it will, to act, to speak, to reveal, the world will not just notice. It will be moved, because you are not emerging from silence empty-handed. You are emerging with purpose, with power, with divine momentum. So walk forward, gently, boldly, silently, still but ready. Because everything you've prepared for in the quiet is about to echo across your reality, and nothing will ever be the same again.